Hello and welcome back to Tits, Tums and All Things Mum. I'm here with the lovely Kelly from Kids And The Commute today. How are you?
I'm good, my love. I've had coffee, so I'm very good.
You're going to be buzzing like just...
It's strong as well, which is good.
It's good coffee.
It's good coffee.
Yeah, even the whiff of it and I'm like, whoo!
Oh, it's amazing. No, I mean, let's be frank, parents now, we just function on coffee.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I can't have coffee because it does make me go a little bit too far, like, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm having a really bad day and I've had no sleep, I will have a coffee just to get me through the day. And my kids decided to wake me up at 4:20 this morning.
Oh, that was nice of them.
That was really kind of them. No particular reason.
Did they just miss you?
Yeah, they must have done, yeah. But 4:20 is like the middle of the night. I think I cap it at 5 a.m. Like, if it's after 5, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's morning time. But 4:20, that's the middle of the night.
No, 4:20 is the time I think I used to get in, like in my teenage years, you know, the birds are tweeting, that kind of thing. Like, that's not, no.
There was no rhyme or reason either. Like, there was no storm to wake them up. They didn't go to bed early. It was just one of those nights where they're just like, yeah, we're up.
Yeah, but didn't you tell me that you also got in late last night from work? So I think actually they just knew that.
Yeah.
I swear to God, they know when you've either gotten in late or you're getting up early. Yeah. Because they will just be there. Like, hiya.
Hello.
Morning.
I'm here.
Hiya. No,
like,
not now.
I was like, how am I going to get through today? I've got to do peopling and like they're going to be miserable as shit this afternoon. And I might actually let them nap. But then it's like, then bedtime's going to be shit.
I was about to say, do you get into that kind of zone of, I really need the peace. I'd really just love you to maybe have a little bit of a sleep. But then you've got the payoff in the evening. No.
But then my husband's there later so I can tag team and be like, oh, I've got work to do. I'm going to go in the bedroom. You do bedtime.
Work to do. Sit there scrolling on your phone. I'm in social media and I'm working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do that.
So I might just let them nap for a bit of peace and quiet. Get rid of the grumpies and then hand them over to Hubby.
What is the issue going to be in the evening though? Like, will that really knock on their bedtime if you do that?
They'll go to bed at like 9 p.m. maybe. Okay. So that's not too bad. I can stick them in front of some crappy telly. Yeah. And it should be okay.
I think you just resolved to what's going to happen already this evening.
I think we're going to go for an extra long drive once I pick them up later. Let them have a little snooze and then I might drop by the Starbucks drive-through and sit in the car. Sorted.
Got your plan?
Got my plan. Anyway, could you tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, I can. So I'm Kelly Taylor. I'm a content creator full-time now.
Yes, love that.
Big old change because before then I was working in corporate for 12 years. Yeah. And then decided to jump into the land of content creating with both feet.
And I'm glad you did because we all love your content.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. No, do you know what? I'm actually glad I did too because I think anyone that works in corporate can say that it can be a little bit soul destroying. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. I wasn't seeing my kids. I was like dropping my kids off for childcare just after 7 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't then seeing them until, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And let's just say none of us were really in the best of minds by the time we saw each other. Everyone was tired. Everyone was exhausted. We weren't getting the best out of each other. And making that switch, as brilliant as it has been for content creating and storytelling and all the wonderful opportunities and meeting amazing people like yourself, and other content creators, I get to see my kids more. Yeah. And as much as I joke about it on Insta about, wanting to be away from my children, I think we all do joke about that from time to time.
Because it's true.
It's true. It's true. We all need a break. Yeah. I actually do love that this time I now get to spend with them. Yeah. I'm a better mum for it. I'm a lot calmer. I'm a lot happier. And I get to see my little cherubs a lot more, which is nice.
Oh, that's lovely. It is lovely being, because I'm almost full-time, nearly there.
Getting there.
And it's lovely just being able to be at home and not having to worry too much about, like, I've got to be dropping them off at this time because I've got to be at work. It's just having that time with them where you're not like, get your shoes on, get out of the house.
It was that. And, being a working parent, no matter what you do, be it employed or self-employed, it always comes with its challenges. And I was very much into flexi working and I was working remotely. The company I worked for were absolutely fantastic. They were bending over backwards and they were really family orientated and I was getting all of those freedoms. But there's a different level of freedom. It comes with its challenges, don't get me wrong, when you're self-employed, but there are definite advantages to doing so, and it was absolutely the right decision to go ahead and go into content creation.
Yeah. It's like when they're sick, isn't it? Like I'm always the one that has to call in sick to be off sick with my children. And now only working one day a week, if they're like, what are the chances they're going to be sick on that one day? Hopefully not that one day. But then I can just be at home and work around them with my self-employed stuff. So it's really good for stuff like that, isn't it?
It is. Sometimes I find it's a blessing and a curse because, like you said, because you know you are the one that can be the most flexible, it will fall on you. Yeah. More than it will fall on your other half. And I don't begrudge that. I'm not resentful for that at all. That's just because of the setup. My other half happens to be in corporate too. Yeah. So, you know, he's got meetings going into his diary. He's got all kinds of things when he's got to be in the office, all of those things to kind of juggle. I don't have as many things to juggle. I can be so much more flexible with it. But again, there is a little bit of like, okay, so
me again.
School's just called, so that'll be me, off a pop, you know, and it's fine. And you can juggle things around. I mean, I've realised it's fine keep being said more and more high pitched. It's fine.
It's like Ross from Friends.
It literally is.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that. And there comes a point when it's not fine and you're just like, oh my God, but you know, you take life as it comes and sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not, sometimes there's just it's parenting.
It is.
It's working, it's parenting, it's just, you just go with it, don't you?
Juggling everything, all of it.
With a smile.
Yeah, exactly.
And coffee.
Yeah, lots of coffee.
Lots of
wine.
And that, and sometimes some gin.
Yeah. Everything,
everything, and literally all the stimulants, please.
Yeah,
well, not all of them. Not all of them.
Not at once, anyway.
No.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Cover My Bubble. Emma and Chris lost their baby girl Lily Beth at 1 month old and faced financial struggles on top of their grief due to not having life insurance. Now they help others by offering insurance for parents, children and bumps, covering critical illness to income protection. Visit covermybubble.co.uk to cover your bubble. So how did you get into the type of content that you create on your Instagram today?
It's been a journey. As they'd say on X Factor, it's been a journey. I started off initially trying to be some awful kind of fashion account. All my friends were into fashion. I wasn't, but just thought I could put on any outfit I wanted, stand in front of a bush in my back garden, take photos with a few poses, and all of a sudden I'd zoom up to 1 million followers. Because it's that easy.
And it didn't happen.
Content creator. I know, funny that. If you'd seen some of my earlier stuff, you'd see why. It wasn't working at all for me because I was trying to be something that I wasn't. And actually, the more I leaned into who I was and started putting myself out there a little bit more, the more I found it more fun. I found my passion for it, but also people started following me and commenting, and I kind of found my tribe. It's a bit like when you're making friends, isn't it? Like if you show up as somebody that you're not, then the people that you're kind of connecting with, you're not really making those real connections. But actually, if you show up as who you are, your sense of humour, your way of telling stories, then the right people kind of come into your world, as it were. Lockdown happened. And I started doing a lot of lip syncing. Reels came about because that's when Reels really kind of came into it. So I started doing a few Reels in between emails and meetings while I was working. I was working really hard, if anyone who I used to work with is watching this. And then they started getting traction, started getting engagement, and I was like, I'm really bad at this photo malarkey, but I'm okay at this video stuff. So I started kind of doing a lot more videos. And then I started to get brave because some of my friends in the content creation world were writing original sketches. I was like, oh no, that's not something I'd ever do. No, I'm not. They're all actors and, you know, they've been doing it professionally for many, many years. And I thought that's not something I could do. And then one day I just got brave and went, no, I'm going to pen something. It did quite well. And then it just grew. My confidence grew. Stopped doing any of the lip syncing, started focusing on content that was more kind of musically led, putting a track over certain things and pointing to various things and text coming up as we do. And then started creating some original sketches, and then they just started working. And then I started kind of, it's always been parenting comedy. I've always just wanted to laugh at the ridiculousness of parenting because of, as we've discussed many a time, there's a lot of ridiculousness in parenting. It's an absolute shit show the majority of the time. But what I really wanted to do was to take all of those moments that parents find so unbelievably frustrating and help them find the funny in those moments. So just before you're about to blow up, because we're all about to do it, you can feel that bubble of rage, you might remember one of my reels or something I've said that kind of just diffuses that situation, and you start to think of something a bit funny. You just think, oh, do you know what? This happens to everyone. It's not just me, that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's really where the motivation came from. And then now I'm kind of more based, I think, in probably school-based comedy.
Which is a shit show.
Which is also a shit show. Because that's also where my life's at right now. Yeah. Like, my girls are 6 and 9. They're going into years 2 and 5 respectively. So we're really, really in the thick of school at the moment. So I just started looking at what was going on around me. Started doing a few things about WhatsApp and just the general admin that we have to kind of the overwhelm that we deal with when our kids are at school. And I just started writing a sketch called The Class WhatsApp. And I realised that it must have hit a note with a lot of people because it started to grow, started to go viral. And then I had friends screenshotting saying, oh my God, someone just posted your reel, your WhatsApp reel in my WhatsApp. And I thought, I've hit something here.
Yeah.
I'll be frank, they are fairly easy to write because it's literally what's going on, not just in my WhatsApp group, but people sending me stories and all sorts. So it's based mostly on kind of real life, not on real people, I have to be clear, because I actually had to run this by my own class. So I'm very close to the mums in Abigail's class specifically. And I had to say to them, I swear to God, none of this is about you guys. But I did have to let them know what I was about to do, because I also am an inherent people pleaser. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want anyone thinking that I'm trying to offend them or trying to do anything wrong. So I was like, no, this is what I've done. But they loved it. Yeah. And it was fine. Aww. So it worked out quite nicely. And then that's where we are now, basically. It's just very kind of school-based comedy. Yeah. I feel very comfortable writing. I'd feel more confident doing it, and it's all good.
Yeah, everyone will relate to it as well, because those school WhatsApps are ridiculous. Like, I'm a ghost in mine, to be fair. I never ever,
I was going to say, which one are you?
I'm the ghost. I just look in there to see like what the fuck I'm meant to be doing with the school and my life, but I never really type anything in there. Occasionally I'll pop up and be like, hi, I'm still here, I'm still alive, but we've now broken off into separate WhatsApp chat.
Oh, splinter groups.
Yeah. So
no one talks enough about splinter groups.
There you go. New content for you.
This is it. Like, I did one reel where there was a splinter group in it, and I had people messaging me going, what is this? And I was like, oh, guys, if you have to ask what's a splinter group, you're not in it. Yeah. There's always a group. And for kind of people that are listening, if you don't know what a splinter group is, you'll have your main WhatsApp, but then there will be groups of parents within that, or groups of friends, because it's not just for school WhatsApps, it's everywhere. Yeah. There'll be groups of friends that do have separate chats away from it.
Yeah, we've broken off into our little group of girls that particularly get on at school, that we meet up through the holidays and stuff like that. Yeah, no one else is in there, so we can say like, what the fuck was that one talking about?
That. It's a bit like when they say, is it on the bus? If you can't see the crazy person sitting on the bus, it's you. Yeah. It's the same with splinter groups, basically.
Yeah. So that's why I'm a ghost in the other one, because I'm too busy in the other ones. That I'm just, a ghost. The other one's just for like important stuff, like which day's PE day and all of that shit. Because I definitely have sent my child to school when it's been PE day, not in PE kit. Yeah. Because how the hell do you keep up with all this stuff?
We are very fortunate. So we're quite organised in our group. And I think also because everyone's quite close and gets on really nicely, we all are very honest with each other about kind of what to do. So we actually, this is going to sound like it's excessive, but it does work. We have 3 WhatsApp groups each class. And it sounds bonkers, but actually it really works. You've got the main...
What if you had like 4 kids?
Well, I mean, you'd be driven insane. Yeah. But the reason there are 3, and not splinter groups, the reason there are 3 is because each channel has a different communication, so it depends what you want to know. Okay. So you've got the class WhatsApp group, which is the chatty one. That's, my God, what day is PE? I don't know, whatever the question happens to be, how many loo rolls we're bringing in to construct the Eiffel Tower today, you know, that kind of stuff. That's one of the chats. You've then got the one which we call the news, which is no one can comment on that except the class rep, and it is literally just to tell you what is going on that week.
We need one of them.
Yes, you do. This is why it needs to happen. And then you basically, it comes out on a Sunday night and you get, this is what's going on this week. Yeah. No one can chat. Yeah. No one can, you can do little emojis, but that's it. Only admins can go on that. And that's basically, if you're ghosting and you just want to know what's going on that week, just go to the news channel. You can mute the other one if you want to. Yeah. The third one's the most fun one, which is the socials, because it was really important to us that we all got to know each other away from the kids.
Yeah.
And I often get people messaging me going, you seem to be really close to the mums in your school. How do I do that? And I'm like, remove the kids.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds a really random thing to do, but you and I both know when you're trying to have a conversation when your kids are about, it's like, just, okay, fine, I'll do that. Yeah. Oh, you need your bum wiping. Yeah, I'm coming now. And it's just like that constantly. I think you might have a conversation over the, 3 hours?
Yeah.
And never quite finish
You basically need to go and get smashed with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be frank, that may or may not occur. But we've done loads of fun stuff. Like it started off in the pub, as it always does, because it was a case of like, let's test the temperature. And we did. And we went out for our first night out, and out of 30 mums, 25 rocked up. And we were like, okay, we've got a good group here.
Yeah.
And it went from there, and we've done escape rooms. We've gone to Bongos Bingo, if you've ever done that.
I love that.
Oh my God, that is so much fun.
Yeah.
What else have we done? We went to the races.
Do you know what you've done now? You've planted a seed in my head, and I'm going to end up being like the social class rep.
But it's so much fun because like when you think about, we talk about creating a village as parents, and actually one of the most important villages you can create is your school village.
Yeah.
It's those that can come and pick your kids up from you. Like I've had it before where one of the girls was sick, Ian had gone into the office, and I was like, I can't leave the house. But I knew I could ask any of the school mums, can someone just walk past our house and pick, I think it was Grace up at the time, and take her to school? I had 3 or 4 people going, absolutely, I can do this.
Yeah.
Someone that, I don't know, all of a sudden a work call has popped into your diary and you're like, of course it's popped in at school pickup. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Go on the WhatsApp group immediately. Any chance anyone can just pick them up and take them to the park?
Yeah.
I'll be there in like half an hour or something. And people will do it.
Yeah.
That's how you create it.
Yeah. We do have that with our school. And like on a Monday, we take my daughter's friend to school because mum has got 3 school runs to do and she can't possibly fit them in. So I do take her daughter to school on a Monday, and I know that I could post in the chat and be like, can you pick her up? I'll come and get her from yours after. We just don't quite have that social side of it yet. And I think someone just needs to take the lead with that and just do social things.
That's what we did. So in our class, we don't just have a class rep. No, because that would be too simple. We again have broken it all down.
Yeah.
We have a class rep who deals with all of the school admin, what days PE, all of that malarkey.
I couldn't be that class rep.
Well, I am this year.
Oh, see, I'm so disorganised. Like, I am the person that will go into the chat and be like, what the hell is going on this week? I have no idea.
See, but that used to be me.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to make myself not make myself class rep. I was the only one that volunteered.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Because I wanted to get more organised. And I am organised. I'm actually looking forward to doing it, which is probably weird, and I probably need to look at myself for that. But you've got class rep who does all the admin-y stuff.
Yeah.
Then we've got what we call the fair rep, which is the one that deals with the summer fete and the Christmas bazaars, because that's a lot of work. So you have someone who around that time coordinates all of that, getting volunteers together, whatever's required for that. And then we've got the social rep.
Yeah.
And that person is in charge of just ensuring we all get together every 6 weeks to do something, but also change it up, because we're also quite aware that not everyone in our class drinks for various reasons. So it can't just always be, let's go to the pub, because that's not very inclusive for everybody. So is it about doing like that panic room, escape room, whatever you want to call it? It's about making sure that we include absolutely everybody with different types of activities, also at different times of the day.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can do an evening for various reasons. It might have to be in the day, after drop-off, whatever it may be. So it's really important just to make sure that everybody feels included with what we're doing. But you get to know each other on a personal level. Yeah. Because it's much more... it's great to have play dates, don't get me wrong. But again, you find yourself so focused on your kids that you don't have the opportunity for a proper conversation or to get to know people properly.
Yeah.
So my advice to anyone trying to make school mum friends is... organise socials, doesn't matter how big or how small, but don't do it when the kids are there. Find a time away from the kids that you can have proper conversations and get to know people, because those people will become invaluable to you. I mean, you're there for many, many years in that school.
Yeah. Well, my eldest is only in year 2, so we've only had 2 years really of being able to get to know one another, and we have kind of branched off into our little like cliques kind of, because who the girls are friends with, basically.
That's natural.
But yeah, it feels like we're getting to the stage where we need to you know, have a group thing going on, because we just see each other at parties now. We're just like, all right, over there. And do you know what? Recently, someone had sangria at their kids' party. It was the best thing ever.
That is a genius.
Isn't it? Because we got to then have a party as well. And the DJ was playing like 90s and noughties bangers. Yeah. And he had foam. And I was like, this is the best ever.
Oh, we did that. Yeah. So not the last party we did, because the last party we did started at 11 o'clock in the morning. I am that person who has always served Prosecco at their children's birthday parties. I know some people don't agree with that.
I'm going to do that. I've got a party tomorrow for my daughter. I'm going to bring Prosecco.
Do it. But pre-warn people, because the amount of people that drive and then get there and go, well, if you told me there was Prosecco, my husband could have driven and dropped us off, or we could have got an Uber.
That's a good point. I might do that tonight.
A heads up. Give people the heads up so they can actually prepare for this. And make sure there's food as well.
Oh, yeah. There is food.
Bit of food for the parents. Yeah. I remember one time someone didn't provide that. And it's fine if you don't. But I actually sat there like, normally going, eat your sandwiches. And I'm like, oh, do you not want that sandwich? Oh, it's fine, Mummy will have that.
I always do that. I like sneak a little pizza or something.
I was nicking what sits off the plate. But yeah, absolutely let them know that you're going to be doing Prosecco. But I've always done that, except, as I say, for last year, because last party, because we started at 11 o'clock in the morning. But we did it, and to the point where we ended up having to go back out to the shop to get more Prosecco, because there was 3 of us who had a combined party, but it was over 2 classes. Yeah. So a lot of kids, there was a lot of parents, and we'd brought a crate of beers, and I think we brought 6 bottles of Prosecco, just kind of assuming that everyone might have a glass. Yeah. No. Everyone was well into it.
Well, they're all parents, so they're going to be. But
they were on the dance floor, because the DJ that we always got, who's brilliant, DJ Lee Russell, I'm going to give him a shout out because he's absolutely amazing. And he always gets the parents involved, and that's what I love about it. It's not a case of your parents sit on the side bored and the kids are just kind of bopping away in the middle. He makes it so that the parents are on the dance floor the entire time playing games and all kinds of stuff, and that's what I loved.
Doing that like oops up
all of that, but all little games. And I think it's nice because actually it always makes me think, how much time do I actually spend properly engaged with my kids? Like phones away, screens away, no distractions about jobs you've got to run off to and do this, and just proper it was a proper hour and a half.
Oh, I love that.
Dancing with the kids, playing with the kids, being silly, because I thought as parents actually life can be quite stressful, and how often do we remember to be silly?
Oh God, me and my daughter, I said this on last night's podcast, we have a time every day called Silly Bugalugs where we just have a stupid time and like lick each other, tickle each other, like jumping around like a crazy person, put some songs on.
That's so important.
Yeah, and she loves it. And like she started wanting to do it first thing in the morning now, and this morning, obviously 4:20, she's like, Mummy, can we do Silly Bugalugs? I'm like, it's 4:20 in the morning. We are not doing Silly Bugalugs.
But it's a core memory, and that's what you don't realise when you start these things with your kids. They become core memories. Like I think about the stuff that I remember when I was little, and I spoke to my mum about it, and she's been like, how do you remember that?
Because it's like a really special time for you.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Like, I don't really remember the 2 weeks that we went to Disney, Florida, and they spent an absolute goddamn fortune. But remember that time when they used to pick me up from school and they'd bring me like little sweets in an empty Flora carton in the back of the car, I remember that. It's just fun. You don't know what those core memories are going to be with your kids, but
no. It's like that film Inside Out, isn't it?
Oh my God.
With the little core memories going in the thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, that film makes me cry so much.
We haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet, because I can't take my kids to the cinema. I cannot do it. They will not sit still. My eldest will. My son, 3 minutes maybe. He'll watch it for... Though. He's 3. But he's also potentially ADHD, so he's literally wild. Like, he needs to be jumping, and they do toddler screenings. I was going to say, they do kid-friendly they're a bit more accepting of a child throwing themselves off the back row of the cinema. Why not? But I just can't bear the thought of it, like just running around after a crazy child instead of watching the film. So
yeah, and also no spoilers, it's just brilliant. Like, obviously you've spoken about your ADHD before, and we before, I know in the green room we're talking about kind of anxieties and stuff like that. I have never felt so seen in a film ever in my life.
Really?
Like, it's just, it hits on so many levels. Like, as a kid, just watching it, thinking all those times, like, you just feel validated. Please go and see it. Like,
God, I might have to, like, I don't know, bring all the snacks and just be like, sit still.
Or, I mean, it's probably going to be coming out.
Yeah, I think it's coming out soon because the trailer's on Disney Plus.
Oh my God, it'll be coming out soon. I mean, you have to pay for it for a little bit, but
we might do like build a fort and sleep in the living room and watch it kind of night. And,
or treat yourself and just watch it on your own. Honestly,
go to cinema by myself.
I do that. It's brilliant.
I've never done it. I thought about doing it for the Barbie movie, but then my daughter got jealous and she wanted to come, which is fine.
I know it's a treat for yourself, honestly. So I'm very fortunate that I've got a couple of other friends who are self-employed, and we found a time at the cinema, because the cinema is literally across the road from our school, and we found a time that basically finished just before we had to go and pick the kids up.
Yeah.
So we toddled off there one afternoon. We may have shared a bottle of wine
in
there, got a few little treats, and we sat there and we watched, I think it was the new Poirot.
Oh, nice.
I think it was, Kenneth Branagh. It's very good.
Yeah.
The wine might have helped the situation, but it felt so naughty, but actually so luxurious. And I thought, oh my God, I've just taken some time for myself.
Yeah.
Going to the cinema in the middle of the day feels incredibly naughty.
Yeah.
But going with just do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's such a lovely thing to do.
They've got the nice cinemas around here that you can lay down in as well. They've got beds and
I've never heard of these
recliner
cinemas.
chairs.
I've got recliners. Never heard of sleepy cinemas.
There's actual beds. There's sofas.
Can you mention the brand?
It's called Everyman, I think. It's called Everyman.
Oh, no, Everyman's ours.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love an Everyman.
Yeah.
We don't have beds.
Yeah, they've got
Walton
beds.
Everyman, get beds.
It's the Wokingham one's got beds. Yeah.
Oh, we don't have
They look
that.
really nice.
Going there tomorrow night.
Go on a bed, chill out. You know,
I'd fall asleep.
I would fall asleep as well.
They're very comfy chairs, but I mean, it does feel like a luxury. I'm going tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's my wedding anniversary tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So my husband and I, when we first met, we always used to go to the cinema. The cinema was our thing. So we're actually going to go and see Deadpool versus Wolverine or whatever it is.
Oh, that looks good. I started doing the Marvel from the beginning, like watching it all in order, all of the series, everything. I did kind of lose track when I got into S.H.I.E.L.D. and I was like, okay, just stop now.
We see... I'm a closeted comic book person. So DC, Marvel, love them, all of them.
Yeah.
Not so much some of the recent Avengers. Yeah. But the darker ones absolutely love. Yeah. So going to see something like this, I'm particularly excited.
We'll probably go and see that as well. It looks fab. But you spoke about trying to be more organised and now you're the class rep. Please help us. How do we do that? How do we become more organised? Okay. Because I'm losing my shit. I'm dropping balls left, right and centre. I don't know how to stop my child going in the wrong clothes, uniform, fancy dress, various things. So how do we actually get on top of it all?
Well, first of all, you homeschool. No, I'm joking. I'm not prepared for that. No.
That would be too many bottles of wine required to do that.
I know. I'd honestly, lockdown, I still get absolute triggers. Homework still triggers me slightly.
Was working full-time in intensive care through lockdown, and I could not be more grateful for that because I'd have lost my shit if I had to homeschool. Yeah,
I was working full-time, trying to take meetings, but we won't go there because my eye will start twitching. How do you get more organised? Do you know what? First of all, I would say I honestly don't blame the schools.
Yeah, no.
I don't blame the schools and I do not blame the teachers.
They have to do
Teachers,
it, don't they?
For me, are absolute freaking legends. I don't know how they do what they do. I try and do what should be a 15-minute piece of homework with my 9-year-old as she is now. And I can tell you now it takes us 45 minutes and that's just one child and they're dealing with 30. So hats off to you. I don't know how you do it, teachers. You're amazing.
Some kids are well annoying as well. I heard a phrase saying, your kids aren't annoying, you're just annoyed. And I'm like, no. Some kids are really fucking annoying.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are. And you kind of smile sweetly through it, but you are just a bit like,
shut up.
Yes, that. It's one of those. I have an inner monologue that often goes on in my head.
Yeah, same.
All the time.
Same.
So I don't blame the schools and I don't blame the teachers at all. I think the challenge, first of all, that we've got is that there are 4 different types of asks being asked of all parents when it comes to school. So first of all, you've got the ask that's coming from the entire school. So whatever the school is asking, be it like fates that are coming up or whatever, big school events. Then you've got what's being asked of you from your year group. And they're different asks.
Yeah.
Then you've got what's being asked from the class. So going back to the age-old, please can you bring in some loo rolls? We're constructing the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
We're doing a life-size model of an alligator. Please bring in your egg boxes. You know, that kind of thing. That's coming from your class. Then you've got the individual ask of your child. So what kind of clubs they might be going to or anything that they need. So you've got 4 different levels of asks coming at you daily. And that's just one child.
Yeah.
When you have multiple children, you're just like, holy God.
I'm so glad I've only got 2. Like, imagine having like 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah, it's
with different school needs.
It's a lot. So my advice would be, first of all, don't have the school comms coming into your email, your natural email inbox. No. Set up a separate email address.
That is genius.
That all of the school comms go into.
And your husband and you both have access.
Correct.
That is genius.
Spread the wealth.
Yeah.
None of this is just coming into the default parent.
Yeah.
Because I also recognise it's not just the mums.
I forward it to him, but that's adding an extra job for me to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I bet you don't forward him everything. I bet you go,
because it gets lost in my inbox, which has got like 5 email addresses coming into the mail app. Yeah. And I'm like, where's that newsletter again?
Separate inbox for all of the school comms that both you and your other half or whoever else. Sometimes it's grandparents too, because if grandparents are heavily involved in picking up kids or whatever, just make sure you've got a separate inbox, because then you're not going to miss it. Make sure that you actually do look at every communication, which I know people are like, I haven't got time for that. I know that, but I missed a pivotal one at the end of last year, which means I don't have an after school place this year, which I'm not bitter about at all. It's my own stupid fault. I missed one email out of 26 that came in over 3 days, but that's on me. So that's one thing I'd say, put it in a separate inbox. Make sure you've got a class rep, because I was actually, again, you live in your own bubble sometimes, don't you? And I assumed everybody had class reps, but I get a lot of messages from people going, what is a class rep?
We don't have
How does a class rep work?
Yeah.
I think one of the key things to being organised is making sure that 1 or 2 people also share the responsibility of communicating with the class, coordinating all of the information and putting it in a palatable form for the rest of the group, because there are so many comms, it is hard to digest.
Yeah.
The role of the class rep is basically to take all those comms and put it into a digestible form that everybody can kind of keep track of.
Yeah.
Write things down in your calendar. That's the other one, because the amount of people that go, oh God, I saw it and then I just didn't write it down. Write it down immediately.
Yeah.
Put it in your diary. Even silly things like when PE is.
When you've got to take a pound coin in for various reasons.
When it's sponsored Green Trees with Berries Day, or wear yellow socks on your hands day.
We've had to just get
else.
a pot of pound coins to just keep at home, and just to have pound coins to take in randomly.
Yeah.
And it goes so quickly, because I'm like, all these pound coins they're asking for various things.
You just lose.
Yeah.
No, it just goes. It goes. So I'd get a class rep involved, find an organised person who wants to kind of do that, and that really will help everybody. There are different layers of organisation within that. Sometimes I'm kind of thinking, do I do like a 101 for class reps as to kind of how to coordinate it all? But I'll do that maybe after I've cut my teeth this year, potentially. I think also just cut yourself some slack. Cut yourself some slack, because the amount of comms that come through from school, it's ridiculous. It is completely overwhelming. And you are going to miss stuff. I mean, you said you're dropping balls left, right and centre. You can drop balls. It's absolutely fine.
I know, but you feel the guilt, don't you, when you send your kid in and they're meant to be in PE kit and they're in school uniform. They're the only one in school uniform. You're like, oh. I
know, but look, it happens. Everybody does it. Yeah. Like, it happens. Like, you forget when class trips are, or what they're supposed to be wearing, or... There's just so much going on, and we're only just isolating kind of what's coming in from school. We're not taking into account everything else that's going on in your world at that particular point.
All the other classes and everything.
But not just the school world, just everything else that you've got to, as a parent, as a person, be kind of dealing with. Yeah. So I think cut yourself some slack.
Yeah.
The world didn't end when little Tommy
in her
went
world
in.
It did.
Well, absolutely. And I get that, because their world is very small compared to ours, and what doesn't seem like a big deal to us is absolutely a big deal to them.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the world didn't end.
No, it didn't.
And I'm sure she's okay now.
She's fine.
I mean, she's not going to go into therapy over the fact that you once sent her in the wrong kit.
I mean, I don't know. For every day I'm questioning whether at some point in their lives they're going to have to go to therapy because of me.
I remember that time. No one, I can tell you now, no one is going to therapy over PE kit.
No,
nobody
they're
is.
Not.
No, they're not going to therapy over PE kit. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I just think there's just a lot to deal with, isn't there, as a parent, constantly. And there are little things you can do to kind of help yourself. Sometimes I'll do them and sometimes I won't.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the week, I have all the good intentions of getting the uniforms ready and checking what's going on and packing the lunches the night before, putting things in the fridge. And I'm like, look at me. And then by the time it hits to Wednesday, I'm just like, just put your shoes on. Yeah. I'm trying to make the sandwiches. And that's not the right cardigan. Whatever it may be. Like, where's your water bottle? It stays.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We just laugh through it.
We do. If we don't laugh, we'll cry. So
yeah. Sometimes we still cry even when we laugh, but it's fine. That's all. Okay. That's okay.
It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Oh, amazing. Well, on that note, shall we have a spin of the wheel?
Yes, I'm quite nervous about this wheel.
It's fine, honestly. Okay, it's fine.
I'm ready.
Okay, so it's here. Do you want to give it a good spin?
Oh, it's not something I can break, is it? Because I'm also known for being incredibly clumsy and heavy-handed.
Let's hope not.
Don't be something scary, please.
Oh. Would you rather never do housework again or have children that sleep for 12 hours? You're thinking so hard about it.
Do you know why I'm thinking so hard? Because I don't want anyone to throw things at me, but my children really do sleep well.
Oh, yeah.
My children sleep well.
Do they?
Yeah.
Have they always?
No.
Oh.
No, which is why I'm very grateful that they do now. No, they both went through those periods. Remember the developmental leaps?
Oh, yes.
That we always used to read about?
I remember
those ones. Yeah. When people go, oh, they're going through a developmental leap. And you're sitting there with matchsticks propping up your eyes going, oh, good. Well, now I know what it is. That makes things so much better. Jogging your coffee.
Yeah.
I also don't mind housework.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm really rubbish.
Spin again.
Sorry, I'm going to have to spin again. I don't mind housework.
I don't mind housework. Mine was the sleep thing. Because as you know from 4:20 this morning, my kids don't sleep.
Oh no! Honestly.
You're destined for this question.
I know. Not again. No.
Again.
You're joking. Oh no, okay.
But now it's landed on Q&A, which I emptied out yesterday.
Should I spin it again?
Spin it again.
Okay.
This is what happens
do a caption. 5 hours later.
Don't land on Q&A again. Oh, okay.
No.
Most embarrassing parenting moment.
Oh my God.
Do you have one?
Do I have a most embarrassing parenting moment?
I mean, I feel like it's really hard to be embarrassed as a parent.
Well, do you know what? I agree with you.
Yeah.
I can't... I mean, look, for me... The moment I want the world to just swallow me up is when your child is that child on the aeroplane.
Oh, yeah. My child is
on the
always
plane.
that child.
That is probably one of the most embarrassing moments because I remember before I had kids, I'll be honest, I was that very, very judgmental person that would see a child coming into the gate and I'd be like, oh God, please tell me I'm not sitting with them.
And you're like looking through the seats like...
You know, and you'd be on the plane and then you'd hear a child scream. You'd be like, oh my God, like I cannot hear my Spice Girls track that I'm listening to. How rude. The child is terrible. Oh my God, what terrible parenting.
Shut your kid up, will you?
I want to go back and punch me in the face for my behaviour and what things I used to think.
Yeah.
No, because actually the reality is when you're child is that child on the plane and we will all go through it. It is like a rite of passage. The only person who should really be stressed about it is the parent.
Yeah.
Because if anybody else on the plane can just turn up their music or turn up their film or go back to sleep or do whatever, they don't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah.
But no, we had it. It was Grace, first flight. And I deserved it. I deserved it for many reasons. One, I deserved it because I was that judgmental non-parent person who'd be like, children on a plane.
Yeah.
Why are you flying at this time? Because it's the school holidays, you dick. But then you'd also... She flew out brilliantly. The outbound flight.
Yeah.
Look at me and my baby.
Yeah.
Oh, she's sleeping. Oh, it's your turn. I've just got one of those children that sleep. She's feeding at the right time on takeoff. Oh, look at me. So I deserved it.
Yeah.
And then we got to go home. And it all went tits up.
Yeah.
So I had downloaded... She was obsessed with Hey Dougie.
Yeah.
And I downloaded Hey Dougie on the iPlayer on the iPad. What I didn't realise is it has an expiry on it. So we went to fly home and everything I downloaded on the iPad had expired.
Oh, no.
Nothing would work. And it was back in the time when there were no screens on the seats. So...
Yeah.
We were screwed. And my children, I'm not ashamed to admit it, were very screen-orientated children. Yeah. And the only way to keep them happy was to either feed them or to, let them watch a screen.
Yeah.
I didn't have either.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
So she screamed.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire way.
Oh.
I do remember the drunk lady in front of me who kept trying to give my small child Smarties because she felt
that's going to help.
She felt that would help. And her husband was going, will you just sit down? Will you just sit down? It was actually, that was the funny bit. But no, I wanted the world to swallow me up. But to be frank, that is what you call karma.
Yeah. I haven't been brave enough up until the age of 2 to take either of my children on a plane. My youngest was 2 when we went on our first plane and they were both good as gold. there next to me, I had the child that was kicking off the whole plane, and she must have been about 1, and the mum was just so embarrassed, and I could see people tutting at her, I could see people like glancing at her, horrid. And I tried to help, I gave her some cuddles, like tried to distract her and things, but the whole 4 hours she just screamed.
But do you know what's awful? You're parenting for other people at that point. You're not parenting for yourself. Because I thought to myself after the whole scenario, when everything had calmed down a bit, if you had been the only person on that plane, you wouldn't have given 2 shits.
No, you'd have been like, cool,
that your child was screaming.
Yeah.
You wouldn't care. And that's the point when you realise that you actually put the needs of others over the needs of your child and the needs of yourself.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is now why, when I am on a plane and I see a child kicking off, I'm giving reassuring smiles to the parent. I have gone over
Try and help as well,
yeah, exactly.
Don't you? Yeah.
So when the kids were young and I was still working in corporate, I was travelling for business, and I would actively look, I must have looked like a weirdo now I say this out loud, I would actively look for parents with kids so I could steal them, to go and basically, like, if they were having problems, I could like, do you want me to hold your baby? I was that person saying, would you like me to hold your baby? And it's like, yes, of course, a random person I've never met before. Have the most precious thing in my life, hold them. But just because I wanted to say it's okay. Like, and to any parent that is travelling and they're like, oh, my child is always that child on the plane, or my child kicks off, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Just, I know it's difficult at the time to say just ride it through, but just ride it through. It does pass. It really does pass.
Most of the time there are nice people as well. Like the cutest man on the plane when we went out last time, Bailey was fine. He was a bit grumpy and getting a bit kind of restless. The man behind was like, come here. And he just sat him on his lap and let him watch his iPad. And it was so sweet that he just was like, come on, I'll help.
But isn't that a much better way to behave than tutting? Like,
definitely.
I know I'm allowed to swear on this podcast, but I would like to say royally to anyone who's listening who tuts at parents who are struggling with their kids, fuck off.
Yeah.
Seriously. The fact that you can turn up the parent doesn't want this to happen in the first place. Okay,
they're not doing it on purpose.
It's like, oh yeah, sorry, my child's got a volume switch. Let me just turn them down a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm disturbing you watching House of Cards right now. It's just fuck off. Turn your iPad up. Yeah. Do what you need to do. You are free to do whatever you know. I know it's a little bit annoying right now, but the child might be in pain because there is a blocked, they're hungry, whatever. Just fuck off and turn your iPad up, honestly. Like, it's not going to kill you. No. It's like, I was really cross, actually, a flight that we were on recently. They announced over the tannoy that somebody had come on the plane with a severe nut allergy. Could people not eat nut products? I actually heard someone go, oh, for goodness sake.
What, do you want them to die?
I made a point of very loudly and passive-aggressively saying to my child, who hadn't even mentioned it at all to me, just went, oh, isn't that good that we can do that? Isn't it okay? So, do you know what? I don't think it's okay that you might not get to eat your pack of peanuts just so someone doesn't die on the plane.
Honestly.
I was like, who are you? What is your problem? What happened to you in life?
Some people are just so self-absorbed, aren't they, that they don't think about the bigger picture. And
it is incredible. I'm sorry, you cannot eat your tiny pack of peanuts for 3 hours just so that someone doesn't die. Sorry about that.
Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
People just,
I'm flying on Tuesday and my son is a lot more wild, shall we say, than he was last year. So I am fully expecting him to be that child, but I'm just hoping and praying that the snacks and the screens keep him settled.
Have you got Bluetooth headphones?
No.
Right. Tip for anybody travelling with kids. Bluetooth headphones.
Okay. Why? What's wrong with plugins?
Because there's a wire, and when they start twisting and turning, they're going to pull that wire out, they're going to knock drinks over, it's all going to go tits up.
Bluetooth headphones.
They can move more freely with Bluetooth headphones. They're honestly not that expensive.
Yeah.
And actually, can you put a price on your sanity?
No.
No, £30, probably about 25, 30 quid.
Yeah.
Also, if they've got padded headphones in, they're more focused on the screen and it blocks out the noise. Yeah. So they'll be more focused. Yeah. I found that with both of my girls. I've tried the wire thing and flailing arms and legs, and I'm just going to lean in to get my bag and my little tiny wire is going to swipe the kind of whatever's on there. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. They can move more freely. They can move around.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
I go to the shops after this.
Seriously,
to
get yourself some Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, okay, amazing.
Paddy
ones. Like kind of ear defendery.
Basically like ear defendery type ones, over the head ones. Oh my God.
I'm doing it for Tuesday.
You can thank me later.
Amazing.
They are, get them.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been amazing having you. Could you tell everyone where we can find you online? Not that they don't already follow you, but
I can tell you. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at you. Who am I looking? Hi. So you can find me with my handle Kids And The Commute. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. It's been lovely seeing you again.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And thank you so much to everyone for watching, listening at home. Please do all the things. Listen, watch, download, subscribe, all the things. And we'll see you next time.